What is up? Hey guys, it is a little bit early for me, about 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Colorado on Monday, July 19th. So just wanted to hop on here real quick because I do have a small package that I want to open and show you guys. I got a couple frogs in here that been kind of on my wish list. Now, I do already own them, so full transparency, these are not new to my collection, but I want to talk about the Jackall Karas or Jackall Karas and the Jackall Gavacho frogs. Um, and in my opinion, as well as a bunch of other serious bass fishermen out there, it is quite possible that these two frogs here are the best on the market, especially for what you get. Um, both of these frogs retail at $10 a piece and have very different purposes. So we'll get into talking about these in just a minute. I want to give a couple people the opportunity to hop in here if they're getting a notification or what have you. But fishing with Vince, how's it going, man? He says, after those tips you gave me, I caught 5 bass on a frog the next day. Dude, that is sweet. Super good news. Happy to hear it, man. Uh, what made a difference for you? Because I don't want to take credit whatsoever, but that's very exciting. And I'm happy for you, man. What did you change up? What did you do differently? How were you able to catch 5 bass on a frog the very next day? Riley Belden in the house. What's up? How you doing tonight? She says, what's up, my people? How's everybody doing? Tyler, hope the fam is well and y'all are staying safe. Hey, thank you. I don't want to get too serious on the stream, but I will give you guys an update. Let you know that everybody's fine, but we did have an accident last week. So unfortunately, my wife was holding my son and our dog at the same time. The dog saw another dog and took off toward it and pulled my wife and our baby off of the bench that she was sitting on. She and our baby took a pretty brutal fall on the concrete. We went to the emergency room and it was quite a scary day. Found out that my son has a little bit of a small skull fracture and a tiny brain bleed. So very scary stuff. I would really appreciate your guys' prayers and support. Just thoughts in general. Good vibes. So far, so good. He's all checked out. He's acting normal. Everything is fine at the moment. But that was kind of a scary time for us last Thursday. And luckily, we're kind of in the clear for now. We were able to be released that night, didn't have to stay the night in the hospital. We were released that night, and then he was checked out by his pediatrician the very next day on Friday. And the protocol is that there'll be really nothing new or anything different to do until 6 weeks from now. He'll get another CAT scan to make sure that brain bleed did in fact subside, has not gotten any worse. Of course, we will be keeping an eye on him, making sure that everything is normal when it comes to his attitude, his sleep, his eating patterns, and so forth. So anyway, guys, really appreciate your support. Sorry to drop that news on here, but Riley and a bunch of other people like to ask how the family is doing, and that has been a big deal in our family this past week. So keep us in your thoughts and prayers. What's up, Matthew? How you doing, man? Thank you very much for the support. Nate Sommers, what's up, dude? We're going to talk about these two frogs tonight because I've got a couple of them new in the package to show you. This right here is the Jackall Gavacho. For a lot of people, this is kind of their number one choice when it comes to frog fishing. Until now, I've got 2 of these, both in bluegill colors. So this is like the Blackgill. This is the chartreuse gill. Couple things that make this frog unique and high quality. are the design. This is a popping frog, but it walks remarkably well with ease. It's got these 3 legs on it, which are pretty cool. It's already got a relatively soft body, but very, very durable. This thing holds up better than most other frogs on the market. It doesn't take on very much water at all. And as you can see, the body is built around this hook, which is already turned up and out. So unique shape on this hook. And that's a big difference maker. Okay, so the X factor on this frog is that it retails for 10 bucks. So very cool, very high quality frog that does not break the bank. Now, its little brother is the Jackall Kara or Kaera. Not quite sure how the Japanese would pronounce this, but it's spelled Kaera. And this is a finesse frog. This thing still weighs, I want to say, a half an ounce. Could be 3/8. Remind me, Matthew. Can you tell me what this frog weighs? I'm pretty sure it's half an ounce, but the body is significantly smaller than what you get in like the Gavacho. So this is one of the smaller frogs out on the market, and it walks like a dream. It's got a very, very good hookup ratio, and this has been kind of all the rage on the market the last year or two, and for whatever reason, they have been sold out like everywhere for a long time. This frog is very difficult to acquire right now, whereas the Gavacho is a little bit easier to get your hands on. So this red frog is the only color of the Kara that I've got in my box, or has been until now. And I have been kind of itching to get a couple more. And again, this guy also retails for 10 bucks. So very good value. Sorry that it's not focusing for us. But red frog is a good color, but not my favorite. Probably not the most popular that they make either. So I went hunting online, found a little place called Joe's Sporting Goods. I've never shopped there before, and they had these frogs in stock. They might still have them in stock. So if you guys are interested in picking either of these up, that's where I'd go, to be honest with you. You're not going to be able to find the Kara in stock pretty much anywhere else. You're going to have to do quite a bit of hunting. And even if you do find them in stock, there will be limited color selection. So I'll show you what I picked up. Looks like Ryan's in here. What's up, Ryan? Justin, what's up, dudes? Good to see you in here. Ryan says he's been out fishing. Right on, man. Wonk Fish in here. Dude, I keep forgetting your name. I'm so sorry, man. You say, I can't seem to get my frogs to walk. I don't know if it's because they're cheap or if the line or retrieve I've been using are wrong. Could be a combination of all of those. Odds are it is the line first, then the retrieve, and then the frog that you're using. But all 3 of those things matter. So in order to walk a frog, you want heavy braided line or braid to a monofilament leader, okay? You need floating line. That's for damn sure, and you need it to be relatively heavy or stiff so that it allows for when you pop the slack for that bait to move. And it's going to be a similar deal as fishing a walking bait or trying to walk a popper. So that's what I would compare it to first, but you're going to tap the slack. You do not want to reel up all of your slack before walking the bait. Otherwise, it's just going to scoot forward on you. So the most important thing is leaving some slack in your line and hitting the slack. Most of the time when walking a frog, because it's a smaller lure and is just going to walk side to side, it's little taps of the slack, not nearly as aggressive of an action as you're going to do when fishing a popper or something like that, or even using a walking bait. which will usually have a little bit more aggressive of an action. So keep that in mind. But then I would also recommend stepping up your frog selection. And I can make a bunch of recommendations if you'd like, but let us know in the comments what it is that you think you're doing wrong, what you're using in terms of gear, what type of frog you're using, what type of line, and how you tend to fish the frog. P-line, 15-pound Fluoroclear, that's definitely not the best choice, okay? Fluorocarbon and frogs do not go together, straight up. You could use 15-pound monofilament and probably get away with it, but even still, I'd probably go up to a 20-pound. You want that line stiff. I would go heavy braid though, okay? Riley says, sorry, my phone lagged, but I'm sending prayers to your son and the wife, and I'm hoping everything will be okay. Thank you very much, Riley. I appreciate it. Ryan says, I went up to northern Saskatchewan on the weekend, fished Tobin Lake for 2 days, caught 12 5-pound walleyes and 100 in total. That is sick, dude. Congratulations on a hell of a day. 100 fish days are hard to come by. I don't care what you're fishing for or where you're located, but that is a blast. Justin, just a quick update, let you know that I let everybody else know. My wife and son took a fall. Our dog kind of dragged them down last Thursday, and my son hit his head on the concrete. Ended up getting a small skull fracture and a tiny brain bleed as well. Luckily, neither were super serious and didn't require us to end up staying overnight in the hospital or getting surgery or anything like that. But it was pretty serious. They did get taken from one hospital to another in an ambulance, and it was a scary situation for sure. But since then, all has been just fine. I don't want to say like nothing happened because, of course, my wife's got a little bit of, PTSD from that incident. But so far, so good. My son is acting happy and normal, and they're both healing just fine. So thank you for your concern. Wonk says, the frogs are super cheap ones I found on Amazon because I don't have much of a budget. So do you have recommendations for some cheaper frogs? Yes, I do. And Wonk, hit me up after this. I might just hook you up with a frog or two. But if you're looking for something cheap, start with the Booyah Pad Crasher, okay? This thing is like $6. One of the cheaper frogs on the market. Yet, as you'll see, it's got a very soft, collapsible body. This thing walks very easily. Hookup ratio is good on it. And it's probably going to be your most cost-effective bait. The other ones that would be worth looking into are the scum frogs. These are really well made and also can be found pretty cheap. I think this one was $6 or $7. So otherwise, with quality when it comes to frogs, you're going to want to spend somewhere in the ballpark of $10 a frog. I'm not exactly sure how much this one costs, but this is the Strike King Sexy Frog. Also a pretty affordable frog. Very soft body, walks really well. Gavachos Hook. Highly recommend the Sexy Frog. So check those three out to start. Would be the Booyah Pad Crasher, the Scum Frog, specifically the Trophy Series, and the Strike King Sexy Frog. Those are all going to be good options and pretty cheap for you. Now, Lunker Hunt does make a couple others, but then if you want to step up just a little bit in price, I would recommend going with the 6 Sense Vega Frog at $10 a pop. This thing walks like a dream. I've been fishing it a lot so far this summer. And then the ones that I'm talking about, the Jackall Gavacho and the Jackall Karas. So we could talk about frogs for a long time, but I want to talk about these two frogs specifically. So I got two more colors of the Gavacho, and these are going to round out my color selection and my collection when it comes to the Gavacho right now. So this will allow me to have my bases covered in all situations when it comes to light and water clarity. So this is just a straight up all white color. It's even got a white cupped mouth, white back, white belly, everything. Just a little bit of like a bluegill or shad type of pattern on the side. And it is just called white. So again, what you can see about this frog is it's got a relatively soft body, not super soft though, but the hooks are already turned up and turned out. So you are going to get a great hookup ratio from these, and you can work the bait in many different ways because of that popper style mouth. Okay. Also got one in the lime frog color. Hey guys, 6 people in here, 7 thumbs up. Really appreciate you guys. Wow. OW Fishing says, hope they're all right. Thank you, man. Cool Granddaddy Sweets forever, my man. Yeah, sorry that you jumped in the chat right when I was talking about the accident from last week. Yeah, super unfortunate. Lime green frog. Look at that green back. It does have a white belly. I usually prefer a little bit more yellow on green frogs, like that sexy frog that I showed you, but it does have still a little bit of yellow on the sides. And as you walk a frog, it is going to flash the sides, not just show them the belly. So unless you're fishing on heavy matted vegetation, the side profile does matter as well. The green is going to be more for us fishermen to be able to see. Matthew says sexy frogs are a staple. Yep, I hear you. Very, very good frog, man. Super versatile. William Plunkett, what's up, man? No problem. Not a big deal that you missed the last stream, honestly. Not a big deal. Good to see you in here. Matthew says, I just bought some of the Noris frogs. They look really nice. And I've been liking the Noris products. Definitely quality JDM baits. Yep. Noris is actually a company that I don't really have any of their stuff to date. So maybe I'll get more into their stuff moving forward. But still, for the time being, I like to showcase and add to my collection stuff that is generally fairly accessible, because I'm trying to be an informational, educational channel here, and don't necessarily just want to showcase stuff that people won't be able to get their own hands on. So, guys, I picked up 4 of the Jackall Karas frogs, 3 different colors that I'm going to pull out for you, and I got a duplicate of one of the colors. So you can already guess what's going to happen with that is that starting, I don't know, in a week or so from now, I'm going to kick off a new giveaway for the month of July. And in that giveaway is going to be one of these Jackall Karas frogs, specifically in a color that is a little bit hard to get. Little bit unconventional of a color too. So anyway, let's talk about this. This is the Blackgill color. I already showed you this color in the Gavacho that I've got, and it's beautiful. You know, I'm a big fan of black frogs, white frogs, green and yellow frogs, and that is about it. So now I've got this Blackgill color in both the Gavacho and the Karas, and I'm happy about it. I didn't really know there would be orange on the throat, but I like that. So you can see how much smaller the Karas is than that Gavacho. Gosh, it picks up dust just so easily, straight out of the pack, and then after you fish them. But anyway, Karas in the Blackgill color. Okay, next. Got one in the glitter bluegill is what they call this color. And this reminds me a lot of the chartreuse bluegill that I showed you in the Gavacho. It does have a black back, a little bit more of a pearlish, sparkly belly. Come on, man, focus for me. So very interesting how when you put these side to side, it's almost the same color, just with a black back versus a chartreuse back, but very, very similar color pattern. This is called the glitter bluegill. And again, this is the one that I picked up 2 of. And one of these bad boys in the box. It's not coming out. It's going to one lucky winner here in probably the next 2 weeks or so. So if you guys are interested, stay tuned for the giveaway coming up here in not that long. Make sure you're following on Instagram as well. That's where I usually post first. Matthew says, yeah, I feel you on that. Those frogs you're showing us are definitely great as well. Good to hear, man. I'll check out the Noris frogs too, though. I mean, I'm sure I've seen them before, just haven't pulled the trigger, either because they've been out of stock or because they're a little bit too one-off for me. And also what I find with a lot of those JDM frogs and baits in general, soft plastics, hollow body frogs, is they tend to be really expensive and not all that durable. So this is the white color. As you can tell, I picked up one in the Gavacho, one in the Kara. And yeah, happy about it, man. When they're feeding up on shad, or you just get that overcast, middle of the day weather, that contrast with the sky, white is going to show up best for the fish. So now my collection of Gavachos and Karas is good to go. I think I've got 4 of each. Is that right? Yeah. And kind of one in each type of color. So really happy about that. I'll need to reorganize my box a little bit to be able to fit all these guys in. But these are probably in my top 5 or so frogs that I fish. And as I mentioned early on in the stream, probably are for a bunch of other serious bass fishermen as well. So when I saw them in stock, couldn't help but pick them up from this place. Again, I've never shopped here before, Joe's Sporting Goods. So not really going to promote them, but added those to my cart and then did a quick little Google search to see if I could get any coupon codes. Found something that was $5 off. Shipping was free after spending $50 or whatever. I had bought those 6 frogs, so I was in the clear. And what I decided to do with that $5 was add some swim baits to my cart and get these for free. These are the Storm Largo shads. I've actually never fished these before, but have heard pretty good things. And I know that Jacob Wheeler is partial to them, as are some of the other Rapala and Storm guys. But I had never tried these out before. From what I had heard, they've got a relatively stiff tail, not an aggressive kick, but I'm surprised to see that there's even that much straight out of the package. Now, what's really cool is they've started making these in these HD colors. So check out how cool this color pattern is. If I can get that to focus for you. That is just absolutely gorgeous as a bluegill imitation. So this color is called Live Bluegill. And a couple things that I noticed straight out of the package about this bait are that the tail has a slit in it, so it's going to leave a little bit of a bubble trail and make for a more lively tail kick. The plastic is thinner and softer than I thought it would be, and I'm a fan of that. And then also, it's got a belly slot, so it's already kind of cut out and ready for a belly weighted swim bait hook, and it's got that slot on top for the hook to rest. So very cool. I thought maybe I had it like an Owner Beast 4/0 here, sitting here close by that I could rig this thing on, but I don't see one at the moment, so I'm not going to do that. This is the 4-inch size. They make this bait in a 3-inch and a 4-inch, and first impressions are good, honestly. These are only $5 a pack, and this 4-inch size comes with 6 in the package, so pretty cool deal. I'll let you guys know once I have an opportunity to fish them. No real scent on those guys. OW Fishing, any tips on starting a small fishing channel on YouTube? That's interesting, man. It depends on what it is that you want to do, the content that you want to create. I started just because I was still relatively new to bass fishing back in 2018, and was just really getting the bug when it comes to tackle addiction. So I liked a lot of unboxing videos. I liked a lot of tutorial rigging videos, underwater action videos, that kind of thing. And still, that is my vision for this channel. But I would consider this channel small, man. Still sitting at a little under 3,000 subscribers. So, if you're looking to do on the water fishing and just document your adventures, of course, that's another option. But that's a really competitive space. So it totally depends on what you want to do with a fishing channel. But my biggest tips on starting a new channel, whether it's on Instagram or on YouTube, is going to be frequency at which you post. You have to strike that balance between getting out there, posting content as much as you can while enjoying the process, right? Because it's tough to balance that for a lot of guys. You can burn out on creating, editing, and posting content and keeping on a schedule pretty quickly. That said, if you decrease the frequency at which you post, you will pay for it. And that's happened to me multiple times. If you disappear from the platform, your growth will taper off pretty quickly. Matthew says, I also got that Megabass Batra X. Been waiting on them for like a year. Finally came, so I wasn't paying $40 on eBay. Right on, man. Yeah, that looks like a very interesting bait. Again, kind of a one-off type of deal, but I like the customizability. I don't know if that's a word. But for those of you who don't know that bait, the Batra X is a hollow body frog that comes with a cupped, like a jitterbug style lip on the front that you can fish with it on there, or you can remove it to walk or pop the frog like you would a typical frog. That said, it also comes with a tail on the back that is almost reminiscent of like a sprinkler frog that can be adjusted as well. And I think it's got a treble hook in there, if I'm not mistaken, Matthew. But they look pretty cool. Very interesting bait, and I'm glad that they're making their way over here to the U.S. for sure. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, these storm swim baits do actually look better than I thought they would. Because, again, I had read early on that these things were pretty stiff. But holding these in my hands and seeing them up close, I don't think they are. I think they're going to fish just fine. And like I said, Jacob Wheeler has been fishing those for a couple of years now. And I don't think he's just talking out of his ass. I know that he's very loyal to his sponsors and really fishes their stuff. But at the same time, he does really well on them. Now, he is out of this world good at fishing. So I think he could use anything and wreck the fish on them. But that said, I wanted to check out these baits. Matthew says, I'm planning on starting a JDM/swimbait or big bait YouTube channel. Just need a good camera. No, you don't, dude. You really don't. The gear that I use right now, I'm using a webcam that's got high definition. I also use my iPhone to record a lot of stuff. And I don't have a new iPhone, by the way. This is like a 10. And all you need to do is to be able to record in 1080p. You don't need a nice camera. I also have a GoPro Hero 7 Black that records in 1080, 30 or 60 frames. You can record in 4K in that as well, but most platforms won't let you upload in 4K. And even if you do, it will take like a day or two to upload a video. So 1080p is still the standard. You do not need nice gear. You could buy a GoPro Hero 7, 8, and be just fine for a couple $100, or you could use your phone. Only thing is, sometimes you might want to upgrade the sound. So I will just tell you that when starting out, you don't need high quality gear. That is overrated. And it's something that you just plain don't need. As you gain popularity, as you get more serious about doing it, then you might want to upgrade your gear because it just might be more interesting to you. It might be something that you start caring about more. It might be something that your audience starts to care about more. But again, I'm using a $150 webcam right now that does okay. I use my iPhone a lot. I used to stream on here exclusively. I record a lot of my videos, unboxings and rigging stuff on this. And then I use my GoPro for on the water fishing and for underwater stuff. So that's about it, man. You really don't need a lot of stuff. OW Fishing says, I'm going to try start this weekend. I got a chest mount for my phone. Cool, man. Right on. Yeah, just play around with it. It's always worth giving a shot. And keep in mind, YouTube will push new content, new channels out there a little bit. So you'll probably see a little bit of a spike. You'll see some attention come in right when you start posting, which is good. So, maintain that momentum as much as you can. Try and post a couple of videos in that first week or first 2 weeks, and post every few days. Don't just batch post and put 5 videos out there on the first day, but do post one day, couple days later, post again, couple days later, post again. Get on kind of a schedule more or less, and you will start to see success when it comes to growth. And then the other thing in general for you guys to consider, Matthew, OW Fishing, Wonk, any of you guys who are thinking about starting YouTube channels, it's really important to consider putting content out there that people are looking for, not just that you want to create. So you got to combine those two concepts. First, you want to make content that is interesting to you, that you can enjoy making, but you also really need to think about what's going to provide value to other people. Think about what you look for when you hop online, hop on YouTube and start searching. How did you find my channel, for example? How did you find anybody else? It's what you type in that search bar, as opposed to recommended content, that you're going to go about finding content. So you want to think backwards about how people are going to find what you're posting about. And that's how you're going to have the most success. Simon's there. What's up, dude? You made it tonight. Yes, you did. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on because, honestly, my wife and kids were out at dinner with my mother-in-law tonight, and it is just about 30 minutes past my girls' bedtime, and I wouldn't be surprised if they roll in here very shortly. But I did just want to hop on and show you guys the frogs that I picked up, and just talk about them for a few minutes, which we already did. the Jackall Gavacho and the Jackall Karas frogs, some of the best on the market, especially bang for your buck. When you talk about quality of components, durability, hookup ratio, castability, fishability, just everything when it comes to a hollow body frog, these two frogs are right up there, best on the market. So $10 a frog, can't beat it. But that said, they're hard to find in stock, especially in colors that you might want. Yeah, man, I am loaded with frogs. Need to start fishing the hell out of them. But yeah, also got to reorganize my box a little bit. So if you guys are interested in a frog or two, hit me up after the stream. Might be able to help you out. Now, who was it specifically? Wonk was saying that he might need a frog or two, and I could help you out, man. So again, send me a message on Instagram or an email, which you can find in my bio on here on YouTube, and I'd be happy to help you out, man. You would love a frog, huh, Simon? Wonk says, can you use a small EWG hook instead of a regular drop shot hook and still have the rig work? On a drop shot? Yeah, of course, man. In fact, I've been doing it a little bit more as of late. Not just the ponds, but some of the lakes that I fish. I fish from the bank the majority of the time, and the weeds have really gone up in the last couple of weeks. So it has been a lot less of a hassle to fish a drop shot Texas rigged. So yes, you can fish a drop shot nose hooked. You can fish it wacky rigged. You can fish it Texas rigged, however you want. The drop shot rig is a weight below the hook. It's not referring to the hook itself. So of course, you still want to tie that hook with a Palomar knot, and then bring your line back through the eye of the hook, so that hook will sit perpendicular to your line and will sit horizontal and not lay down. Okay, and then the tag of that Palomar knot is going to be what drops down to your weight. So the weight below the hook is a drop shot. You can use whatever hook you want. But typically, yes, a 1/0, 2/0, 3/0 EWG hook on a smaller bait can be killer. So yeah, highly recommend it, man. Any other questions, guys? I gotta say, fishing with Vince, I don't know if you're still in here, but I am super happy to hear that you caught a handful of fish on a frog after we talked about it the other day, and that for you it was as simple as putting the frog where it needed to be and fishing it around heavier vegetation. So it sounds like Vince was just trying to fish a frog in open water and not getting him to blow up on it. Then he started putting the frog where the fish are, hiding out in the thicker stuff where you can't as effectively fish other presentations, and boom, just like that, caught 5 fish on a frog. So that is super cool to hear, and I'm happy for you, man. Simon, you don't need to retract any messages that you send. Again, hit me up after this stream. To those of you who follow up, you never know what you might get. So that said, I did get a package from Riley Belden, one of our longtime subscribers and loyal homies in the community here. I ended up winning one of her giveaways on Instagram, which I feel a little bit guilty about, because I was more so entering the giveaway to help draw some attention to the giveaway, not to really enter or win. And I should have told her that, but I'm excited about what's in here, and I'll tell you guys real quick. So there are like 5 things specifically. I got a pack of the Lake Fork trophy lures. This is like their super fry. They call it a ring fry. So this is just a 4-inch stick bait. I shouldn't have pulled this out of the package because these things stink, yo. Very extreme garlic scent on the Lake Fork trophy lures, soft plastics. Holy. Oh boy. And some 4/0 EWG hooks from Gavachos. Happy about that. And then a Booyah Poppin' Pad Crasher Frog. Tough to be mad about that. I already have a bunch of these. Well, I wouldn't say a bunch. I've got 1 or 2 in this color, as well as a couple other colors in my box that I might have already showed you tonight. But great frog, especially for the money. I already mentioned the Pad Crasher, but the Poppin' Pad Crasher is a great one too. So another one for the collection. Might even throw that in my giveaway, but probably won't because it is a go-to bait for me. And then 2 6 Sense Divine jigs. 1 swim jig in the 3/8 ounce size in the Shad ice color, they call it. So just more of like a transparent pearl color. In fact, this swim bait here that I've got would pair perfectly on it. This is the 6 Sense Divine swim bait. And I want to say the 4.3-inch size. Not 100% sure. Ghost Ice Minnow, 4.4-inch is what they call it. So, yeah, that pairing will be ideal. And then the 6 Sense hybrid jig, the Divine hybrid jig in black and blue. So the hybrid jig is incredibly versatile. I like that it's got a vertical line tie on it. It's got a relatively stout weed guard. I do like to trim that down a little bit. And it's got a nice big hook on it. I want to say it's like a 5/0 hook. And this is a 1/2 ounce size. So very versatile. And yeah, really appreciate Riley Belden and her doing that giveaway. I promise, Riley, next time you do a giveaway, I will repost it to my stories instead of just tagging a couple people. And I will make sure that I drive some traffic your way. And I don't want to be a part of the giveaway, okay? I don't want to win 2 times in a row. Even if there's only 5 or 10 people that enter the giveaway, at the end of the day, I want you to be able to help somebody else out. Of all people, I really don't need more lures for the most part. That said, I still go out of my way to buy new lures each and every month. You guys know that. So Simon says, I need to start using the Dropshot Rig and the C Rig. Yeah, dude, Dropshot is definitely underrated, especially in all situations. Most people associate it with deep water fishing and with finesse fishing, but that is not necessarily the case. You can fish a drop shot in so many different ways, and you can fish it shallow. The real advantage to a drop shot is that it keeps your bait up off the bottom. Carolina rig, you're dragging, so you don't really want to be in grass with a Carolina rig, but you can fish a drop shot in grass and do quite well on it. So, yeah, I've had a lot of success using the drop shot more and more this season than I had in the past, and not mad about it. My fish have definitely been a little bit more finicky this season just because they got pressured so much last year and early this season with COVID and everything. So it's just part of the deal. Daniel Hedrick, what are you laughing about? Are you guys just laughing at the fact that I won Riley's giveaway when I didn't mean to? Simon sent me a Facebook message, dude. I might never see that. I might need to make a little reminder to check Facebook, but that is the platform I am on least. I almost never log on there. So send me an email to hooksetsaretefree18@gmail.com, and I'm more likely to see that than I am a Facebook message. But yeah, we can always exchange information, and I'll get you started with the frog. But any other questions, guys? I'm gonna probably hang out here for another 5 or so minutes, then make sure that I'm available when my wife and kids get back home, so that I can help either hold my son while my wife puts my daughters to bed, or vice versa. And I'll put my daughters to bed tonight. But it's about that time for me. So I had an opportunity to hop on a little bit early tonight. This is rare for me. Usually I wouldn't be on for about another hour. I wouldn't be starting for another hour or so, but interesting. We've got 13 people in here, 13 thumbs up. Appreciate you guys. Riley, were you gone and came back? I just showed all the giveaway items that you sent to me, and half apologized to you for winning the giveaway, but said thank you more than anything for giving me the opportunity and sending some good baits in that giveaway. Cool Granddaddy Sweets Forever. You got to tell me one more time what your name is. And guys, sometimes it takes me a couple streams to get used to your name and not forget, because now the community is growing a little bit, and I love that. I appreciate it, but I do like to be able to call you guys by your name. So Wonk Fishing, I asked you earlier, you did not mention what your first name is. And Cool Granddaddy Sweets Forever, you told me in one of the last streams, Abe. Yes, gosh, I was going to say it's a little bit more of an old school name. Abe. I should not be forgetting that. I'm sorry, man. Daniel says, earlier is better for me. I keep catching you on the replay all the time. Yeah, well, that's my bad, but such is life. Married and with 3 young kids, man. I often don't really have time to myself until later at night. And okay, Wonk, Peyton and Abe. Where is a pen? Ooh, forgot about these baits. I got my backup jackhammer chatterbaits in the fire craw. Couple more jackhammers. Yo, the Jackall Blade Waker. Have you guys used this bait? Pretty interesting concept. This is a hybrid wake bait and chatterbait. Look at the blade on this chatterbait or bladed jig. It's turned up so aggressively that this thing is made to rise high in the water column and wake on the surface. Now you can fish it slower and it will fish like a traditional chatterbait or bladed jig, but pretty cool design. And it is attached via a split ring. So theoretically, you could go ahead and attach this blade and split ring to any swim jig that you want. Some people were complaining about the hook being a little bit weak on this thing, and I watched Kevin the Baitman Baxter on one of his streams literally just bend the hook to the point of where it broke off at the bait keeper. I haven't had any issues with the one of mine that I've been fishing. It's a green pumpkin one, but in terms of gauge of wire, pretty decent, but it's possible that the way that they pour these and make them, that it is a little bit weak at the joint. And you'd rather not lose the jig itself. But that said, even if you did, what would come back to you is the blade, the split ring, and the head just with no hook on it. Not the end of the world. What you could do is just take the split ring off, put it on a different swim jig of choice, and still have the same action. So cool bait that was new to the market last year, I want to say. And then one that I'm sure Matthew would like. I don't know if he's got this bait or not, but this is a soft blade chatterbait. I've talked about this 1 or 2 times before. JDM only because it does violate Z-Man's patent. They can't sell this thing in the US. It is a direct blade to head connection, but it's got a soft plastic lip on there that is reinforced with metal inside it. And so this is a silent chatterbait, but still displaces a lot of water, vibrates really well. Cool little sleeper bait. Abe and Peyton. Abe and Peyton. Guys, I'm sorry, man. Simon says, I sent you an email. Okay, right on, dude. Matthew says, seen and heard them. Good for certain situations. Heard they're good for certain situations. Yeah. You talking the Blade Waker? Or you talking about that Tranquil, dude? Riley says, well, I'm on now. Well, no worries. The Blade Waker. All right, man. Cool. Yeah, the Blade Waker, I haven't really found when is the ideal time to throw it. I usually just make a point and kind of force the issue. And I try to go fishing either in dirtier water, low light conditions, or when there's a little bit of chop on the water, where it would be a little bit more obvious that throwing a chatterbait or a top water, like a wake bait style presentation, would perform a little bit better. So, of course, I'm not going to throw that in clear water or super calm water or high sun situations for the most part. But the Blade Waker is a really cool bait. I just haven't really dialed it in, haven't had it tied on enough to where I've got a tremendous amount of confidence in it. And usually that tends to happen with me when it comes to specialty baits that are a little bit more one-off and seem like they would be best for certain situations. So you're right about that, man. All right, Abe and Peyton. Abe and Peyton. Guys, I got to drill that into my head. I'm going to take a note down here when we're done because I don't actually have a pen. In fact, I'll just write it down on my phone right now while you guys think of what to put in the chat. If you want to talk for another couple minutes, we can. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off here in a minute. All right, Abe and Peyton, I got you in here. Worst comes to worst, I'll check my notes next time I'm on and I forget your name. I won't ask you, all right? OW Fishing, what's your name, man? Let me add it to the notes. What is your first name, OW? If I catch it next time, I'll watch next stream. Okay. Well, no worries, man. What is your name? If you didn't already dip out of here. Riley says, William, do you think it's time to change my profile? I'm a completely different person from that one. More muscle and better weight. Yeah, definitely change your profile picture, Riley. Not that you were asking all of us, but change it up. Peyton says, what are those big swim baits up there on the wall? OW Fishing is Owen. Okay, man. Now you're not Owen from Discount Tackle, are you, dude? Because that would be wild if I didn't recognize you on here and that was you. But I doubt that you are. That should be easy to remember. OW is Owen. Matthew says, did you see that new collab swimbait, wakebait that Swimbait Underground did with that generic trout company? No, I did not see that, man. Tell us more about it. All right, Peyton wants to know what the big swim baits are up on the wall. Are you talking about these ones down here? Or are you talking about these ones right here? Because I can tell you right now that down below me, I've got 4 bigger swim baits. These are the Kitech 6.8 inch. These are the Spark Shad from Megabass in the 7 inch. Here's what they both look like up close. So 7 inch soft plastic swim baits. You know, they've definitely each got their own action. The Kitech has a little bit bigger of a kick and is meant for slower swimming on the bottom. The Spark Shad has a little bit more realistic of a profile when it comes to the eyes, the fins, the profile of the body, and also has a relatively aggressive kick, a little bit more so than the 3, 4, and 5 inch Spark Shads, but the 7 has been discontinued to my knowledge and is really hard to find these days. So then next to it, I've got the Megabass Mag Slow in the 9 inch. I haven't fished this bait yet. I just saw it. It was a really good deal. I don't remember where I bought this thing, but it was on clearance. And I want to say this thing retails for like $30, and I got it for half of that. But this is essentially a stalker trout, straight up. And it's got a long, thin tail, meant to be fished slowly, but due to its density, it does ride relatively high in the water column. So this thing can be fished shallow and slow, which is ideal for imitating a stalker trout. That said, it does also have the mag hold system, just like the mag draft from Megabass. And lastly, over here is the Optimum Baits Papa Boom Boom, which I showed you guys last stream. It's an absolutely giant bait. It's an 8 inch soft plastic, but it's very thick. Yeah, it weighs probably 3 ounces on its own. Is no joke of a soft plastic bait. Then I've got a couple Kitech Mag Draft and a couple sleeper baits here. Here's one that you guys should know about that I don't talk about. Not a lot of people do, but that's because it's JDM and not very accessible in general. But this guy here is the Imakatsu Stealth Swimmer, okay? And essentially, it's a mag draft, but with a hook hidden inside the body. Magnet system, the hook will eject out. Kind of like that new Dark Sleeper imitation from Ketchco. I forget what it's called, but how the hook is attached via magnet and will come up out of the bait when you set the hook. Peyton says those seem way too big. Yeah, a lot of them are huge, dude. Not a great everyday type of swim bait, I'll tell you that much. But there's a time and a place, and if you feel like just committing to big baits and are open to getting skunked day after day until finally you land a giant, that's the way to do it. So there was a time where I was a little bit more serious about getting into that way of fishing, and haven't fully committed, haven't really gone down that road as much, because I do like catching fish just a little bit too much, and so I like to strike kind of a middle ground. But yeah, I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but I did post a picture of the Optimum Baby Boom Boom the other day, and we were talking about that on the last stream. So I told you I had one rigged up. I went and tied it on and immediately caught a fish on it in one of my first few casts a couple days ago. So that was pretty fun. Peyton says, fish of any size are fun to catch. I agree, man. I try not to fish tiny baits all that often, but I do like multi-species fishing as well. So every now and again, I will bring stuff out that is specifically designed for panfish, for trout, for multi-species fishing. And I've got a couple boxes that are dedicated to that stuff. So you never know, right? You know, and the baby bass are starting to grow and are now in that like 4+ inch range. A lot of them are now 6+ inches. And so it's interesting to either imitate those fish or to super downsize and to try and catch some of them in the same way that you would try and fish for bluegill or crappie. Matthew says, I had to scoop one. It's almost like a crank down that has this new diamond lip design that helps for tracking a covered diversion, but also creates a V-wake very well. And you can walk or wake or crank it. Very versatile, not too expensive. They're $79 and have pretty nice color schemes. And they won't weigh much when it comes to 2 line ties. That's how you change the action. Very interesting, man. What's the name of that bait? That hybrid bait that you were talking about? The Swimbait Underground and some, you know, generic trout company? I hadn't heard of that, but seems interesting for sure. All right, guys, I have got to get out of here. The X-Rago. Okay. I'm going to do a quick little reminder here for me to look up. Gosh, I searched X-Rago on Google and women's panties showed up, dude. What the? Rago style panties. What in the world? Luckily, the first result that was not ads was the Swimbait Underground shop. So that's freaking weird. I hope Google doesn't get the wrong idea and start showing me panty ads. What? Never heard of Rago style panties, but they look a little big for my liking. I swear, William, I haven't been looking anything up. At least it hasn't been on incognito. But I'm telling you, Rago is a style of panty. It's like a, you know, like a big panty. I like I like the small stuff, dude. Oh, you guys, you look it up, Abe. I swear, search Rago. I searched X-Rago, X space Rago, Rago, and it's just the ad section on Google. Rago style panties. They're like briefs, dude. I don't like that. Not my style. But once you scroll down past the ads, boom, right away, Swimbait Underground times Rago baits equals Swimbait. Boom, found it. And I'm going to check this out after the stream. So, Bait and Switch, what's up, dude? Yeah, sorry, you caught me at the very end. I'm about to dip out of here. And yeah, you should hit this on the replay, watch a little bit. I appreciate you guys hanging out. It was fun to talk about frogs, fun to talk about just fishing in general. But if you guys are on the market for the Jackall Cara frog, which is very hard to find, I will recommend that you check out where I picked these up. Even though I'm not trying to promote this company whatsoever because I have no affiliation with them. But what did I call them? Joe's Tackle? Joe's Sporting Goods? Dude, I don't know. Joe's Sporting Goods. Okay. The other way that you can acquire one of these sweet frogs is to just keep an eye out for my next giveaway coming up in a week or two. Going to give away this bait right here. It's called the Glitter Bluegill color, and it is pretty rad. So one of you guys is going to win this same bait that is just new in the package because I picked up 2 of them. All right, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Thank you for hanging out. I will see you on the next one. Tight lines. Cheers.